Hello, hello, welcome back to some more Tier 1 action. Back from USA, and now we're in the beautiful views of Monaco, located right under France. I'm here joined with the lovely Spaniard, Bito. How are you today?
Hello, 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 Seko. How are we here?
Well,
It's a really good afternoon, really good night today. It's Monaco. It's a really interesting race. Always Monaco brings some special things that we can't see in other tracks.
yeah, it's always something special with Monaco. Of course, it's an old track. It's history inside the track, and being one of the shortest circuits in the whole calendar, it's definitely going to be as well as being the most difficult track in the calendar. We'll see definitely some challenges that these drivers are going to face. We saw in the Tier 2 race there was at least 9 or 10 drivers that DNF'd, so we're going to see a lot, and as well we have a lot of reserves joining in. I believe there's only 13 full time drivers and 7 other reserves for today, I believe.
Something like that. 13 and 6 reserves for today. It will be really a mix for this round, as we were saying. A lot of drivers were not able to be here this night, so we'll have a lot of new names or names that we have related to other divisions, reserving today for their teams or just reserving as an independent driver, let's say, not scoring points for the team. So we'll see what they can do. We hope they do their best. It's a chance to prove their quality on a higher tier, this time on tier 1. So we'll see how they land here on this session. Of course, 18 minutes of qualifying here in Monaco and 39 laps of this race. Will be starting soon as these drivers are running up already. So we'll see what the weather call is here. We'll see what the sky will tell to us, but I assume it will be a dry campaign.
Hopefully, it will
Probably
be a drying campaign. We had a close call with Tier 3. There was almost rain on there, but there was no rain so far. We can actually head into the qualifying session to see it's a actual sun and dry qualifying session. But that doesn't stop for the race to also have some rain in there. We don't know the full weather report going into the race, but nonetheless, we're here in the sunny views of Monaco. Everyone, lap takes around 109. We'll see some 108s here for sure. We saw in Tier 2 pole was a 108.8, I believe, or 108.9. Nonetheless, we have since there's 3 tire soft choices and the laps are goes so quick, so some of these drivers are enticed to putting on the medium tires. Do you have anything notes on Monaco? We know it's a difficult track, but is there anything else we need to be aware of?
of course the walls is the the big concern here. A lot of corners, and then you have to really be close to these walls to be fast on this track. We have always seen drivers brushing that wall to gain time. The first driver now to be on the outlap will be Remco van Putten. Second place yesterday on tier 2. Really steady race, like a Sunday walk. They were saying some of these drivers, because it seemed like a very not really complicated, not a lot of fights we had yesterday, but still a really interesting race here on Monaco. As I think you said before, only 9 drivers finished that race, and one of them, of course, was Remco, as well as Leclerc on 14th place on the tower, who's as well reserving for today, and he did collect, I think, 3rd place yesterday.
Yes, and of course we have Big Turbina who won the Tier 2 race. So a lot of familiar drivers in today's grids. We have Remco, the first car to drive out the self qualifying lap. There's a lot of traffic in other divisions, so drivers need to be aware of what time they come out. So, as you said, of course the walls are a big factor in this track, but also the position where you're at. We might even see a lot of overcuts with pit strategy, as having traffic in front of you is not what these drivers need. Having traffic in front of you is basically impossible to overtake in this track here. So, nonetheless, we have Remco van Putten starting out his lap here. This said I believe he set pole lap for tier 2, so hopefully he can bring that into this race here.
I think second place, probably behind Big Turbina. But yeah, it was really close to pole. Now going into sector 2, into Portier. Now into the tunnel. Really flat out section now. That right-handed. Going into the chicane of Nouvelle. Really brushing that wall because you really need to compromise a lot of your entry speed to maximize the exit into Tabak. Really well-known track. Well, Big Turbina with a 5-place grid penalty after a collision, it seems, with Lois. Remcoman aborting his lap. Probably will try another one now. Was not happy with that one. I think he will try to push again.
Probably try to push again, but nonetheless we have Drake Dempsey. He's on the lap as well. We saw his front wings all over the track there. I think that's from the AlphaTauri. Pole for right now is at 10.2. That time he's definitely going to be beaten later on. But nonetheless, we saw Drake Dempsey in the USA. He had an unfortunate DNF there with his safety car. He's about to start his lap now. But hopefully Drake Dempsey...
There he is.
Yeah, I don't think he really pushed that one. His ERS is still 100%. So, I don't know about that.
Probably trying to do a lap without energy and try to put that as a bunker and later on trying to improve with the mediums. Could be that.
Might be. Kai goes with a 109.2. Sets the McLaren into P1. Yeah, so these drivers need to be careful on the DNFs here. We already saw some damage front wing onto the track. And even the slightest bit of damage, even if it's invisible, we know this game, it's not really clear on what kind of damage you have on your front wing. But the damage accumulation here is pretty high, so... the safety car is reduced. We saw there was about 10 or 9 DNFs in Tier 2's race, and there was not a single safety car, not even the virtual safety car. So there won't be many chances for these drivers to pit. And I just saw Big Turbina hitting the wall a little bit, so he's gonna have to come in or start another lap.
Surely he will. As you were talking, safety cars on this game on Monaco are not, let's say, really good to appear. I haven't seen that Mercedes in a while. It seems like it's glitched, or as Colin Masters likes to say it, a new feature of the game. So we'll see. We will see the safety car today. I think moderators and administration have talked to put it on increased to see if that will do something about it. We'll have to see, as I'm on board with Jeffrey right now, who will be starting a lap. He was invalidating his first attempt, and the second one was to recharge the energy. 16.7, not representative for his talent, but invalidating again.
Oh, yeah, turn 1, you have to cut a lot to gain that time, but you gotta be careful. If you cut too much, you're gonna invalidate. I know a lot of these drivers have experienced cutting that turn 1 there and just invalidating, so he's gonna most likely have to either come back in the pits or start another lap. The lap times are so short here, so if he could really go for another lap and not really risk it all, but we have to be really careful on what tires to start in. We know starting on the soft state lasts around 13 laps, and they degrade really fast compared to the medium and hard tires. The medium tires can last until the end at lap 5, because we know that it's gonna last, but of course they're gonna be really slow. But even if you are slow, overtaking here it's incredibly difficult for these drivers. So there's definitely gonna be some strategy play here. It's an interesting strategy, a unique strategy from Monaco here. And Jeffrey did a little drift there to show us off there. But nonetheless, we have a few drivers out right now. Polypunk, he's on his out lap right now. Who is on a lap? I believe Remco is gonna finish his lap, or no, he's going into the pits.
I think Luda is flying. I will take this pause at the moment as we have not too much drivers on the track. To thank PW Jones for that subscription. He has been subscribed for 8 months. And of course, these tier 1 drivers will have to watch out for those walls, because it's going to be really interesting now. On qualifying, they have to push to their limits. We'll see how Luda does that. He's on sector 2 already. He hasn't set a lap yet. We'll see what he does at the exit of sector, at the end, sorry, of sector 2. Now entering sector 3, rushing that chicane of the piston, of the pool. Now into Raskas.
Raskas, see what time he sets in. Going to the DRS straight, only DRS straight here. And he sets P4 with a 110.0. Nonetheless, a good position for him. But those lap times are going to be beaten surely. There's only 10 drivers, I believe, or 9 drivers who hasn't set a lap time yet. Someone has set a lap time, didn't quite see that in the leaderboard. But Polypunk, I believe he is in a falling lap as well.
He is flying, he is improving now into the tunnel. Going flat out, as we were talking before, into that section. Downshifting to second, I think a little bit tight there with the wall. Not probably taking the best entry. Now into Tabak, we'll see if he has an improvement. He was improving on sector 1, yes he has indeed. 1 second of provisional pole position at the moment, Polypunk. Into swimming pool chicane, now into Raskas. Really close.
That was really close from there. That lost him a lot of time. I don't think he might improve from this. Nonetheless, you see what time. Nah, he did improve a little bit, but not much to put him up a position. Remco, he is in the out lap. So who is on a lap? I believe Kai. He is not on the lap.
Victor Rubin improved his lap time. He put himself into provisional pole position. 9.1 will be now the time to beat. As we have, I think that was Vincent on the mediums, putting himself into P4, the fastest of the mediums. We have Neon as well flying on that other McLaren. Into sector 2, a little bit of traffic of Polypang ahead. We'll see if that affects him. I think Polypang will try to put the car in another place. Unless he's flying. We'll see. I think he's not. Neon behind him.
That was it's so interesting to see what kind of lines they put in the chicane here. You can get so close to the wall. Oh, and that was a touch from the wall there that set the car off, and that's definitely gonna be a short trip into the pits. Cuts too much of that track there. Let's see who else is in the lap. I believe Remco is still in the out lap. Is Polypunk.
Guy is flying.
Yes. So we can go aboard with him.
You see it? I'm not sure because the engine in my end is not sounding like he is, but I think no, he's not. He's a little bit slower, half a second, even more on that sector 1. Anyone improving at the moment? It seems probably not even Vincent. This is I think in a in lap. Remco starting a lap now, I think. Yeah.
Yes, Remco has just started his lap, so we can go aboard with him. A lot of drivers still in the pits yet, and a lot of drivers has not set a lap time yet. There's only, let's see, about 7 drivers who has not set a lap time yet, and they need to start putting those lap times in. They still have a lot of time left, of course. It's only the middle of the qualifying session, so nonetheless, let's see what Remco does. Let's see if he can put himself up to a good position like we saw in Tier 2.
See, he's at the moment on 5th place. I don't know if he's improving. Doesn't seem like a really steady lap. We'll see now after he ends sector 2. Now into Tabak, really brushing that wall at the exit. Improving, just a 10th shy. That will put him into P4. Interesting to see Vincent changing his tires to the softs at the moment. So we'll see if he finishes his qualifying on the soft atom. We'll see Remco now with the softs, putting himself into P3, really close to P2, to the front row. But at the moment he would be on the front row after Victor Urbina having a penalty.
Top 3 very close to each other, so those are going to be a very competitive grid, and we know qualifying is everything here. You need to set a really good qualifying position to set yourself up in the race, and yeah. So you don't want to be stuck behind somebody else. If you set yourself in P1, you're going to be most likely in P1 unless you don't have that right consistency. Jack AC is upside down in the wall. He needs to be careful, doesn't touch anyone. That's all the cars by, and now he has space to go through. A lot of drivers still in pits, but everyone's starting to come out now. Polypunk, he's in the out lap, I believe. Clark is doing his lap as well, so a lot of drivers starting their laps now.
Yerney, I think, as well on those mediums. I think he's finishing his lap in those mediums. The first item for him, what he will set there is a P6 with the mediums behind Vincent, so the second of the mediums on this session so far. Luke Smith was, I think, on an out lap. but he decided to abort that one and go to the pits. We'll see what he can do. We know he's a very, very fast driver, the race class driver there for the Alpine Esports Academy. We'll see what he has on his hands now driving for AlphaTauri, reserving here on Tier 1.
A lot of drivers setting their times in mediums, as almost half of the grid have medium tires set on, so that's an interesting tactic there. Maybe they do want to start on the mediums, but times are still up there. Kai, he's aborted his lap. Let's go on board with Neon. I believe he is on a lap as well. McLaren, Neon's new driver to join the Tier 1 grid. We know he's been a driver before past seasons, so good to see him on the track. Let's see what times he can put in. Has not set a lap time yet, as well as Luke Smith. But he's rounding up his laps, and he cut too much of that turn and validated that.
Indeed, that was an invalidation, as I think Jeffrey crossed the line to put himself into P6. Lewis did it before with the Haas, and on his full-time debut, I think, for Haas, replacing Brainsteel, putting himself into P4. Yerney, I think, trying to fly once again now with the mediums. We'll see what he has on Sector 1, a little bit without a good decision that on Casino Square. We'll see if he has gained any improvement. I don't think so. No, he's not. We'll see what he has on Sector 2.
Yes, with a lot of drivers still out there, as well as a lot of drivers starting their out laps. Luis, he's invalidated his lap. So it's kind of hard to find drivers that's on the lap. Daniel Dobzan, he is in the middle of the lap, I believe, going into the chicane. Make sure you don't hit the wall. It's very nice into the entry. Get that exit speeds. Nice precision there from these drivers here. You can get so close to the wall, but of course a slight touch can kill your car.
Just seeing Victor Bina on the last corner, he was improving, but he almost spun on the main straight. So he lost that improvement. That's a big shame for the Ferrari, but well, really interesting to see almost a spin in the main straight.
Yannick Dovzan sets his car into P5. Big Turbina still in P1. There's still, I don't think there's enough time to come back into the pits and start another lap. So whoever's out right now, that's going to be their time set and done. Neon sets a 109.1 on mediums. 109.1 on mediums. So if he starts on the medium tire, that's going to be very beneficial for this driver here.
Incredible lap from him. Yerney as well, who was on the mediums, improved a little bit. I think 3/10 on his time, putting himself into P6. Remco and Putin just overtaking there on track Neon. We'll see, not finding an improvement on Sector 1. What he'll have on Sector 2, that's the question for the Alpine driver reserving today.
So I believe maybe all these drivers are using the mediums because are the medium to soft intervals that close that they can just set the medium laps and start in a higher position? It looks like it because half or more of the grid are starting their qualifying session or their race session on medium tires.
Yes, at the moment it seems like it's Neon, Lewis. Yes, it's Neon, Lewis, Yerney, Jakak, Noel Carman, Jeffrey, Vincent, and the top 10 with the mediums. We'll see Remco now finishing the lap with the softs. Only 3 drivers on the top 10 to do that. Victor Binakai and himself improving not enough to beat his fellow countryman Neon on 3rd place, but still an improvement.
Most of these drivers are still in their outlap. We have about 4 drivers that's still on their outlaps. Drivers in the pits, they won't have enough time to come out and start a lap, I believe. Luke Smith, that with a medium tire, sets a 108.7 with a medium tire. That's an impressive feat.
Amazing from Luke Smith, but actually I was on board with Kai. Was improving, I think, on Sector 1 and crashed into Novel chicane. Too much risk on that inside wall, and the suspension is off. The car is on the middle now. Let's see where the marshals have tired that car, but amazing, astonishing lap from Luke Smith there, putting himself into P1, 4/10 gap, and nonetheless with the mediums.
Well, of course we can expect that from Luke Smith. He's an incredible driver and very talented to join our race today as a reserve. Nonetheless, the qualifying session is wrapping up with only 37 seconds on the clock. Still some drivers on their outlap. Yannick Dovzan, he's going out with the mediums. Will he have enough time to make it?
Drake Dempsey as well. Drake Dempsey brushing a little bit the wall on swimming pool chicane. Improving 7 cents on sector 2. We'll see what he has there on sector 3. He needs to do that improvement. He's on last place. Last row for him at the moment. Opening the DRS main straight for Drake Dempsey. Crossing the line now. Not enough for the top 10. Not enough.
That's kind of shocking to see this performance from Drake Dempsey. As we know, he's very good on the track. Maybe it wasn't much practice there. That's gonna be a blow on him. Nonetheless, it's still a lot of drivers still on their lap. Yannick Dovzan, can he make it? No, Dovzan actually couldn't make it to do his out lap on those mediums there. As well as Richie, he didn't have time either. So I don't know if it's me, but looks like
Abby
Richie actually had enough time to go.
Abby improving there into P9. I think Jeffrey is indeed flying. So I think he will be able to do that lap. He's on the mediums. We'll see if he finds an improving on sector 1. It seems like not at the moment. But a very tiny margin, 12 milliseconds between those sectors, comparison between his best and the actual one. We'll see what Jeffrey has on his hands, the leader of the championship, I think. Now into 12th place.
Looks like there's a yellow flag for the Alfa Romeo in sector 3. Nonetheless, these drivers are now finishing their laps. Big cut from Richie, but still in the track. Good on him. He's going to gain so much time. Luke Smith sets a 108.6 on the mediums to even put more damage to the wound. He sets an incredible lifetime on the medium tires.
See what Jeffrey can do. I don't think that time is going to be beatable. It's an amazing time by Luke Smith, and I don't think Jeffrey is having the run. 7, 8, 9. It's 9.4.
Top 10.
Top 10.
Top 10.
Not enough.
So he's going to start on those 3-lap old medium tires, so it's definitely going to be some tire wear on it. Luke Smith, he is in the best possible situation. He's on fairly new medium tires, starting on pole with medium tires, as well as Neon in the McLaren. He's on the medium tires as well. So these drivers are going to have a very, very good chance to win the race here. As long as they get a good start, keep that consistency, there's no issue for these drivers to win this race. And we all know if these medium tires can last to the very end of the race. So once they pit over to the softs, the grip is gonna be there for them.
I mean, it's a really good strategy if knowing that the safety car will not appear most likely, and just try to cover that first turn with a slower tire, even with the slower tire setting the fastest lap on his disqualifying. But they will try to extend, of course, that pit stop to the end, and then put the softs and be on the fastest tires, as you were saying.
Well, nonetheless, here is the grid for you. Luke Smith sets his car into P1. Big Turbine is in P2, but has a 5 grid penalty, so he's going to go down to P7. But that promotes Kai and Neon up to P2 and P3. Remco Van Putten falling behind them. Luis, Yannick Dovzan, Jack AC, Avi, and Jeffrey Ritchie. He's on P10, I believe. Mr. Nekus and Noah Carmen, the Swedish duo, sitting together there. As well as we go down the order, we have Clark, McBlurk, Candy King in P15, Polypunk, Augustin, Drake Dempsey, unfortunately, and Luda setting his car in last place. Gonna have a bad start for them, but nonetheless, it's Monaco. The unexpected is to be expected for these drivers.
And everything can happen. We saw a big pile up on tier 2 at the beginning of the race. I think the bottom 10 of the drivers were involved on that incident. Damage for a lot of drivers after, I think, contact on at the exit of Sant de Bot. So we'll see what happens on the start. Formation lap on should be enabled, I think, and so we'll have a lap to see what the drivers select on the bottom 10 with their strategies. Probably they will try something different starting on the softs. So we will see a lot of drivers on the top 10 starting on the mediums. I think only 3 drivers were not qualifying with that set of tires. I think it was Remco Van Putten, Big Turbina, and Kai. We'll have to double check that now on this formation lap. But of course, everything to be expected on Monaco, as you were saying.
Of course. It doesn't look like it's gonna be any rain, but I don't know what the full weather report is. It might come later on. It's not that sunny as I presume it to be. I don't know if it's just my eyes. Still very sunny here, but nonetheless, we might see some action happening later on. Anyway, let's look at the tire choices we have here. If I can pull that up. The tire choices are P1 and P2 are on the mediums, as well as P5 and P6. So they're going to have the best chance of winning the races here. As well as Luda surprisingly starting softs on last place. Kind of
work on that first end.
He definitely needs to put on some work, and where overtaking here is incredibly difficult. As well as mediums, the interval are so close with the soft. So unique choice there from Luda. Maybe he can undercut the medium starters, and maybe get some fresh air when it comes out. So yeah, so he might have a really good strategy if he can pull it off with his plan. Neon gets and Remco gets disqualified for some contact there, so they're gonna have some cold tires starting the race. Don't know what happened there, but formation lap ends up quick and done, dusted. So of course it's a short circuit. Everyone has their own time to put their own to warm up their tires. Strategy, of course, is soft, mediums, hard tire choices. It's still possible, but at least I know it's not that useful here, especially in this track.
Rain at the end, some people on the chat were saying, so we'll see. Probably that explains why so many drivers we have here are trying to choose. That said, well, everything ready. We should be going.
Should be going very soon. All the cars are lining up to their grid spots, and here we are. Everyone's lining up into the race. I see some lights. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Revs are up. Engines are revving, and off they go. Tires are spinning. Let's see what are they gonna go down into the first turn here. It doesn't look like there's much collision going on in the background. There's a Ferrari that's completely sideways, and that's a complete blockage into turn 1. That's definitely caused some damage. There's bits of damage everywhere into turn 1. As we all know, going to Saint-Devote, we don't want any heroics going on there, and that's just happened there. A Ferrari has completely spun 180 degrees.
Turbina not having the best start here. He did the second best time, but the grid penalty put himself into P7, and now, well, damage for him at the start. Really unlucky for him. Kai losing traction at the exit of Portier, and Neon will be really close indeed, overtaking him. And he's second with the mediums. The front row sitters are now, let's say, separated, as Neon has splitted them.
Some good team orders there from McLaren. I think Kai realized that he's on mediums, and yeah, I don't think he wants to lose time against Luke Smith. Nonetheless, everyone's lining up their positions. This is what we're going to see, unless there's some overtakes going to lap 2. DRS is going to be open next lap. Luke Smith, of course, that's the fastest lap. Some overtakes. Yeah, Jeffrey into pits. Oh, so he must have got damage from that. He's going to a set of new tires, as well as Leclerc and Candy King. They're all pitting for those fresh tires. And now
into the hards.
Into the hards. Maybe like you said, there was the rain on their way. I don't know if the hards was a good choice. It's not very useful here. But we know Richie, he's pitted for the mediums because he might pit for the intermediates later on. Nonetheless, Leclerc starting on hards or pitting for hards. We'll see how fast he can really catch up with the other drivers.
This grid is already split. We have a really big gap between 8th place and 9th place. Candy King and McBurk exchanging there. Oh my god, on Casino there's a contact, but McBurk keeps the car far of the walls. Candy King overtaking a little bit of contact as Candy King was going on the outside. Drake Dempsey having a mistake, it seems.
His end plate is gone. There must have been oh, and he hits himself into the wall again. Yeah, there's some damage on that Red Bull car there. So he's gonna have to come limp back into the pits. He doesn't have to worry about the car behind him, of course, as there's nobody. He has his full wing is completely gone. So back into the pits he goes. DRS is now enabled. Hopefully that's gonna bring the gaps a lot more closer. Noah Carmen and Jack AC. You can see how the gap is just bigger and bigger, as well as Leon and Luke Smith. You can see the gap there is starting to get bigger and bigger. So this driver is now into lap 3, and the gap's already starting to form. Some overtakes here. No, sorry, it was Drake Dempsey pitting, and Richie getting that position there.
As well as Candy King, and as well as Mac Berg pitting. Now we'll see what he decides to put. I think he was changing from hards to mediums. I don't know if he had any damage on that front wing, but now changing that strategy. We saw Drake Dempsey putting new set of mediums. Interesting. Not changing the compound. I would probably risk it to the softs and, let's say, try to take it to the rain, as it seems like it's halfway through this race. Yerney, meanwhile, really close on Lewis. This DRS train is starting to form. Remco is the one who has the biggest gap ahead on this train, 1.4. He is not in DRS window of Kai, the same strategy as him, and with a similar gap ahead of him against his teammate.
And I honestly think mediums now are a lot more faster. I feel like the softs are dying just way too fast, and you can kind of see that with the gaps. You can see Kai is only 1.9 seconds, or now 2 seconds behind Neon. So it's a bit tricky for these drivers here. Luis is just right up behind Remco, so we might see some overtake going into the third sector if Luis is really bold, or into the DRS zone in the main straight. But nonetheless, there's imminent of overtakes very soon for these drivers here.
Vincent as well, really close on the back of Noel Carman. He was on the main straight a couple of tenths away of that Haas, probably even closer as saw. But we'll see what he does. Of course, we're saying it's Monaco. It's not really easy to overtake. As we can see, the wall's really close, and putting the car on the inside of another car can be really devastating for the race of both drivers. And nobody wants to risk it, but I think there goes Luis. Trying to put the car on the outside part of Remco. Not gonna work on Santa Debot.
So close, but no cigar. You see, it was right behind them, but it's so unsafe to go for an overtake there, especially where there's no space at all for 2 cars going there.
Vincent as well, really close on Casino. Not gonna work. Everyone shaky at the exit of that corner, as there's that bump, that famous bump that everyone tries to avoid. Really known. Vincent,
bump, yeah.
I think, is the one that is closer, as well as Luis. Drake Dempsey putting the fastest lap of the event at the moment. Victor Urbina matching that one with the same tire. Really good pace from the Tier 2 driver.
Yeah, it's good to see these drivers representing their own division, and hopefully they can come in next season or even later on this season. We know that it's happened before where Tier 2 drivers get promoted into Tier 1. Nonetheless, this session is still going on. 5 laps in, we've already seen a lot of action, and it's just, even though we all know, especially in F1 real life, Monaco was a bit boring, but here you see a lot more action. The gaps are just really close. Jack AC is pitting.
Yeah, he's pitting for an undercut, I would say, with those softs, trying to protect his position. I was watching Lewis on that swimming pool chicane, on the exit. I think he brushed a little bit the wall. We'll see if he has damage. I don't think so, but he's still there at the back of Remco Van Putten, and of course different strategy for these drivers. Lewis is still trying to put the car on a place that he can. Of course, will be difficult. We have seen that already. We're still keeping the pace behind the Dutch driver.
Remco Van Putten has actually caught up to Kai, which means he's gonna get slowed down a lot, and this is gonna trigger a domino effect. You can see Janne Dovzan is, as well as Avi. They're so close. This low train here is just waiting for an overtake to happen. And as soon as that gap is open, these drivers won't hesitate to take that opportunity and go through that gap. Remco Van Putten is right behind Kai. I don't know if he'll go to that overtake, but if there was going to be an overtake, Luis is going to be right behind it waiting as well. So going to a DRS soon. Are we going to see anything here? Remco and Putin on 92% ERS, as well as Luis. He's on 70% ERS. So all these drivers, they're on high ERS usage right now, and just sticking in that position.
Gurney as well. I don't know why he was using ERS on the main straight. I don't think he needed. He was really far to try anything. Vincent again, really close on Casino Square. Nothing happening, of course. Really tight section. We can see overtakes there though, but not happening at the moment. Lap 7 of 39. Drivers still not wanting to risk anything. 19 drivers out of 19 still on the risk. Nice to see that. Probably commentator scores incoming. But we'll see. We will see what these drivers can do. Still Lewis fighting with Remco in terms of pace. And Remco really catching Kai. Kai losing a lot of time to his teammates. So probably Remco trying to optimize better those tires against Kai, who seems like he's losing a lot of pace on this stage of the stint.
See the softs are dying hard now. I believe Clark gets a 3-second time penalty, so that's your first penalty of the session here. But you can see how fast the mediums really are, but they can't really use it to their advantage because they're stuck between soft drivers. So to be honest, lap 1 when Kai let Neon through, that's probably a really good decision there, because you see how fast Neon is. He's 6.8 in front of Kai there, so he's in a really good position. Where you see Luke Smith just dominating the field right now. He's having a good time just chilling in Monaco, to be honest. He might go to like the casino or something and gamble and then still be in P1. But nonetheless,
surely he's a really good driver and really skilled. Now Candy King and Drake Dempsey having an exchange, unexpected. I didn't see that coming, but the fight for 14th place nonetheless. It's a fight still. Drake Dempsey gaining some places after having to replace the front wing contact, I think by a mistake done from himself. Vincent, I think risking too much, trying to close to Noel, and he has put the car too many times outside the track, and the stewards have put a penalty on his name. 3 seconds for him, as well for his teammate, the only drivers on this grid to be penalized so far on lap 9. So they will have to have an eye on that.
Of course. Still no overtakes happening so far with this train here for P3. Kai leading that train, of course, in that fresh air. But we have all these drivers here just eagerly waiting for that perfect opportunity to strike.
Yerney. Oh my god, look at Yerney. He was so close on the main straight. He was close, and again, is he gonna try it? He's lurking. Not gonna happen. It's a interesting game.
How close it is. Yeah. Might be some overtakes going to the hairpin. I would love to see that, but of course these drivers need to be careful not to do anything risky and not put themselves into the wall.
Look at Vincent, he's so close at the exit of tunnel. He has the slipstream as well on Noel Carman. He will try it probably on the TK. Noel going a little bit defensive. We saw nothing happening again, but who's that ahead? I think that's Abby, really close on Yerney. As I think Yerney had a mistake or something, or probably a contact with the wall, as he lost almost a second with the train ahead, but he's recovering that time. Now Yerney closing the gap, and again on the DRS window, the Ferrari. I think a little bit shaky.
Kai going to the pits actually, so now that's going to free Remco, and to that's going to maybe allow Luis to kind of put himself in the front. But of course, Dovzine, he's far back there. He was actually 1.3 seconds. You can see how slow the train was, and just got back quick into the DRS. Polypon gets a 3-second penalty.
Yes, it is really close. But again, as we were saying, almost every lap not gonna happen. But look at the grip of the mediums compared to the softs. A lot of speed exiting that turn, but still too close.
Oh,
I think contact.
Look at this. Yannick Dovzan forces himself and puts himself in front of Luis there. What happened there?
Oh, fair that was, but I was on board with Luis, and it seems like he was pushed to the outside. Don't know how that happened. Probably Yerney. Well, looking if there's a space for a car, I'll put it. Neon having a penalty.
3-second penalty for there. Yeah, but the gap is so big. So if later on that penalty, if that gap is still like that, then that's not really gonna matter that much. Nonetheless,
it's not.
They're saying laps. Rain's gonna come around 10-15 minutes or lap 2022. I thank everyone in the chat for giving this valuable information to us. So we'll see later on what will happen.
It's so close, not happening. But Remco having a loss of grip, after those softs are really dead. I don't know if he's trying to stretch it to the rain. It's gonna be really interesting to see if he can do that, but he's losing a lot of time ahead. I think he only wants to protect that place at the outside tries. Yerney, not gonna happen on that corner. Now into Grand Hotel, and there's contact. I think Luis.
Another push there. You see the yellow flag even came out, so at least one of these drivers have some form of damage at least. And we'll probably see with the gaps getting closer and closer. But yeah, you can see Dovzan, he's not waiting around. He really wants to go for an overtake soon.
Just look at Remco's grip. It's not there compared to Yerne, who is having amazing traction out of every corner. We've seen it now on Tabak, we have seen it on Swimming Pool CK, and we'll see on Sector 3 as well. On the grip on the middle of the corner. Look at the exit of Swimming Pool again for Yerne. It's just an extension of Remco and Putin, not pitting one more lap. We're going to lap 12 now with this stint. Yerne really close. He will try it now on the main straight. He has the DRS and the ERS onto the outside line. He will try it with Remco and Putin, giving enough space for one car, but contact between them, no damage for them. Luis really close to see this action. Still fair racing.
Still fair racing, but of course there's no space. If you're on the inside line, you're gonna most likely, it's a 90% chance you're gonna be on the top there. Dovzan is eager, he's going up the inside of Remco there. What a switchback from there. You know what? That's probably the most cleanest overtake you could have done that in that turn specifically there. He could have gone any other move, but to do it that position
Vincent as well did it on the outside of the Grand Hotel hairpin. So amazing moves from both of them at the same time almost. Really good to see. Really good move from Dobzan. It was really neat.
Of course, Vincent has that 3-second penalty as well. That's going to definitely impact him later on in the race. But still too early to say that, of course. Luis is still fighting against Remco. And it's actually very good for Dobzan here. He's still, Luis is losing a lot of time against Dobzan here. If he doesn't go for an overtake soon, Dobzan is going to pull off. You can already see the gap is already 1.7 seconds.
Remco's not even trying, not even thinking about pitting. I think he wants to extend it to the rain. Look at that, Luis on the slipstream, trying the same as Dobzan, but now further ahead, leaving the space. Remco is. Now the switch back from Luis, the traction is better, but Remco closes that door. Amazing defense from him.
It's an amazing defensive move. There's literally nothing Luis can do. He has to wait and wait for the perfect opportunity. Maybe he can strike it here. Remco tried to defend the inside, but no. Luis finds that gap and goes for it, but is this going to allow Avi as well? No, he's not. He saw it, but it's too late for him to go for that charge.
Amazing if you see that from the onboard of Vincent. For drivers really close. Remco doing the same mistake twice. I thought he was going to learn about that one. Avi really close now on Remco. He will try to push it. Remco protecting the inside. We'll see if Avi launches. He doesn't want to commit to that one. The barrier is really close. Not going to try it. But he was really close to it.
I think, yeah, so it looks like they're losing time. A lot of time to Luis there. You can see the gap is already, it's just getting bigger and bigger. So Avi hoping he could do some overtake, especially in the DRS where he has most of the advantage. But he needs to find that inside line. But we know Remco is going to defend well from it.
Remco's trying to help his teammate Jeffrey. I don't think so. Because with this, everything, well, Jeffrey is going to gain a lot of positions if he can do something. Oh, good exit from Vincent. Avi.
What a
Avi
mistake.
having that mistake on traction, yes.
Oh, that's a good job from Vincent, actually. He saw through the silver wire there. Is this going to allow Remco to do the same mistake 3 times in a row now? Is Remco, but is the overtake's not quite done yet, but now it is done. Vincent sets his car in front.
And Avi.
Oh, where did he come from?
That's a big dive from Avi. Side by side, Remco leaving just marginal space, but enough. Avi needs to yield there. He was really far behind the Alpine, even if they were a little bit alongside. Really good from Vincent. 3 moves in 3 laps, I think. Even in 2 laps.
But now it's his job to catch up. He's only 2.6 seconds behind Luis. So he needs to catch up quick if he really wants to have some time or some position gain soon. Jack AC sets a 3-second time penalty. So drivers are now, they're starting to crack up. There's 5 drivers with penalties. Avi, hopefully he can go for the overtake soon, because you can just see how he is just stacked up right behind Remco. And this actually allowed Kai, even though he's pitted, Kai is right behind the Clark as well and joined back on the train. Went for the inside move, but that didn't quite work. I lost a lot of time there from Remco.
I don't know if Noel has damage, but he has lost a lot of time. Now the exit of Leclerc, he's gonna try it on Casino. Look at that move. Yes, he has damage, he has, and look the move of the Alfa Romeo.
Look at the McLaren as well there. But as well as Richie, there might even go 3 wide there. What is going on? Is Kai gonna go for the move? Noel Carmen is in the inside line. Better position, but this is an inside line. Oh! And his wing is completely off. I don't know if you saw that from my POV, but there was some contact there. But I don't know what really happened there. It didn't really look like contact, but for these drivers, there was some form of pushing there.
It's a bit now. Surely converting his Formula 1 into a GT3, knowing we'll see. It was really lucky. He was in a very good position there, as he is now, of course, losing some time. They're actually colliding, I think, with Jacka.
Yeah, there's some form of collision there. I don't know if there was one of them went to the.
Kicking into the wall, and Jacka, I think, as well.
So he just even his teammate as well. That's not a good team play over here. But let's go back to Avi real quick. Avi's still having troubles to Remco. Meanwhile, there's drama going down the grids.
I don't know what happened. I think Noel and Jacka got collected, and then I think Jacka was trying to rejoin the track and did it in a really interesting manner. Oh, look at Avi.
I already saw that. Yeah, there was a lot of contact. I think Remco oversteered a bit, and there was some contact there. But nonetheless, Avi is free from the shackles of Remco, and finally can use his mediums of what left is in those tires. Jackie see the first retirement to happen, and not retirement on the track, but retirement in the pits. So still impressive so far. You can see, actually, I don't know if it's me, but you can see the gray skies are slowly coming. Another retirement, and is that in the pits? Yeah, that's in the pits
as well. I think both got damage after that incident. Oh, Remco brushing the wall at the exit of Tabak. I don't know if that affected on his downforce on the front end. We'll see, but he's really slow. Leclerc on the back, sniffing there that Alpine sign, and he's going to the pits. I don't know if he has damage, but that was really close.
I think he had some damage and had to pit.
But Agustin Torlaski, Agustin Torlaski car was in the middle of the pit lane and blocked a little bit Remco, and damage of course as well for the Alpine. Really unfortunate. He lost at least a couple of seconds.
Oh wow, not good for Remco, because he wanted to stay on the soft until the rain comes out, and you can just see now the skies are actually getting grayer and darker now. So that really have impacted Remco's race, and he's going to be down there in the order. But nonetheless, Richie, he's right behind Clark. 15-lap old tires. Kai is eagerly waiting to overtake Richie. He's on those 7-lap old tires, so way newer tires than the driver ahead of him. But rain is imminent very soon, so that's going to be a big play, a big lockup from Kai there. That's definitely a warning, and he's going to lose a lot of time there.
Yeah, he had a big snap of oversteer there on the chicane. He's still on good place. I don't know how many drivers have pitted ahead of him. I think he's the only driver to pit ahead. Only Jeffrey, I think, after the turn 1 collision, he pitted. So he's the first driver who has pitted here on the top 10. And he's the one further ahead. He's trying to catch Leclerc to see if he can put the car into P7. Really good pace from Jeffrey. I don't know if what happened on lap 1 was on his own, or it was after that multiple collision that happened. So really unfortunate for him, and really doing a big and good job now to climb back.
Yeah, we know luck hasn't been on Richie's side for so long, so maybe this is his comeback drive, because there was some bad luck in lap 1, but race is still not over yet. Still a good spot to grab some positions. Of course, but he has to defend Mega from Kai right behind him. But Kai's the only driver, well, the top driver that has pitted into those freshly new mediums. But I feel like rain is coming very soon. So it also says from the chat that Luke has lapped the car for P14. So Mick Blurk, he's the last lead car is Remco. Thank you for the information from chat, of course.
See that with changing the gap to the leader, Remco is the last one, and the driver with Big Turbina, the drivers that have lost more position, Big Turbina has 10 places and Remco 9. Kai as well, one of the drivers with a big shunt of position 7 on negative, and Drake Dempsey doing the best he can, recovering from 18th place.
Yes. Oh, what happened here?
That's a big snap of lag.
Yeah, very big snap of lag, and I just saw him hit the wall. Oh no. I think he might have gone to AI mode, and I saw Kai hit the wall. Oh.
As he teleported
Oh,
back.
he is teleporting back into the hairpin, and his car is just hitting the wall. While he is hitting the wall, there's no end plate on that car, but also Rain is hitting the ground right now. I can see raindrop is falling onto the ground, so Rain is on the way right now. How fall? Yeah, he's letting Polypunk through, but how fast the rain's gonna come, we'll have to see.
Very well, incredible to see what happened there. Never seen that big teleport. Oh, and he's out.
Oh, is this a safety car? Maybe it is. Luda saw right behind him there. This is a safety car. This is perfect. Actually, it's very interesting to see what kind of drivers.
Oh, big shot from Remco, and they are both out.
Oh my. Yeah, they're both out. That's a safety car. First, there you go, a safety car. Luda is going to the pits. Miss McBurk as well, maybe. Oh no, this is gonna be very interesting. It's not enough to it's not enough to like pit into the wet tires yet. But are they gonna pit into the dry tires? Luda's pitting for the intermediate tires.
See Luke what he does. Luda probably blocking a little bit there for his teammate. It's soft tires for Luke.
Soft tires for Luke. That's very interesting, actually. And that's also soft tires for Neon as well. Oh no, is that gonna be the strategy call that might end the race for these drivers? Shoot. You okay there, Bito? Looks like you have left the session there. Hello? I think Bito is having some technical difficulties. Nonetheless, the race still goes on with Luke Smith and Neon both in the top position there, P1 and P2 with those soft tires there. We know Clark is pitting into the intermediate tires. Is Drake Dempsey, is he pitting for the intermediate tires? No, he's on the soft, as well as Polypunk. He's going to the pits. What tires is he going to choose? Let's see. He is going to the intermediate tires. So there's only 3 drivers that's out on the soft tires. And this might be the call that might end the race for these drivers here. This is very interesting to see the pace difference here between these drivers. Neon stuck behind blue flag drivers. So Luke Smith, let's see. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 blue flag drivers behind them, separating with Neon. That is very, very, very bad for Neon there. Fortunately, he can't really overtake these drivers here, as that's unsportsmanlike, as unprofessional driving there, of course. But of course, that's gonna set Neon back a lot. But they're both on the same set of tires, and yeah, exactly. He needs to call Mako Massey and let these drivers through, because it's not looking good for these drivers here. But nonetheless, 3 drivers. That's gonna be interesting. What do you guys think in the chat? Do you think it's gonna really the soft? Are they gonna really? Is it a good strategy call? I don't think so. At least the rain is falling down pretty heavy. I mean, they're not really falling down. It's still dry conditions for me. But how long will it take for the safety car to come back? The cars are widely separated. You can really see with Dogsan, he's far away, as well as who is Luda, who is almost a lap down from those drivers there. So they need to. It was going to take some time for these drivers to or the safety car to come out there. We're in lap 21 of 39, going into the race. I think Alex Bito is back.
He might, yeah. I think all of the electrical thing on this house went off. So I'll try to be back as soon as I can.
No worries, no worries. You haven't missed much anyway. We know Luke Smith and Neon has pitted for softs. Luke pitting again? He's pitting for another set of inters. Okay, I guess he wants fresh tires going into... Oh, he's actually having a wind change. So he's had some damage there. He's gonna still come back. So safety car is gonna come at least another lap or 2. No less. Luke Smith, Neon, and Drake Dempsey, they're all out on soft tires, and the rain is falling down a lot. Now you can kind of see the rain patches to form, and it's slowly creeping up into the intermediate wet tires. Lap 22 now, so let's see what the situation now. The cars are still separated. Luda is still the driver waiting to round up and come back into the queue. What's interesting moment here is it's just how that happened. There was one retirement so far. There was one retired car. I believe that was Jack AC who retired, or that was Kai, one of them. And
Sky.
yeah, and if Remco didn't crash into them, that wasn't gonna cause a safety car. But because of that, Remco crashed into it, and that caused a safety car there. And this is actually a really good moment for us. Oh wow! Actually, thank you for pointing out that chat. But Luke Smith and Neon, they have both pitted to intermediate tires.
Yeah. I might need an invite now. Probably. Yeah, I don't think I have an invite there to join the lobby. So if you can share one from the invite friends menu.
No
Yeah,
worries.
thank you.
That's all good.
Thank you,
there.
because
That's all good. Well, everyone's on the intermediate tires there. So yeah, as I told you, Luke Smith and Neon, they've as well as Drake Dempsey, they had a bad call of going into the race with intermediate tires. But none of the safety cars coming in this lap, and Luda is far behind from the race, as well as Mick Blurk. They're all far behind, and it's gonna go safety car. We're gonna go racing back again. Yannick Dovzan is in P1 right now, and he's setting the pace for the field. He's everyone's having their tire warmed up. It's still in the, I believe it's still in the condition where it's dry and wet, but slowly going to the wet condition right now. Dovzan still hasn't set off yet, but now he is. The car is going off, and he set the pace. Look at this. Luis is in the back there. Hopefully he can go and overtake, and even Nicholas, he's defending hard from Luis back there. Dovzan has hit the wall into turn 1, and he is damaged. I believe there's damage into that car for sure, and he's falling down the order quick. Clark can go over overtake, but he has gone down 3 positions. There's an overtake between Richie and Luke Smith. There's an overtake between the pole sitter of Luke Smith, as well as Neon. He's sitting right behind Luke Smith. I don't think that's oh, and he's going for the dive against Luke Smith. It's not gonna happen. He's in the inside line. That might actually help him, but who's that? Luke Smith is gonna go for the inside line of the hairpin. Clark is gonna, and there's a full roadblock into the hairpin.
I think there was a Jeffrey overtaking Leclerc, and Leclerc losing 3 places on the Grand Hotel hairpin, as well another one with Drake Dempsey. Drake Dempsey now up into P8. Vincent Nyqvist up into P1. 10 places recovery. He's starting on the P11 place. And now amazing job to put into P1. A little bit of luck with the rain and safety car duties, but now Luke Smith, Richie, and Neon, really fast drivers, they're fighting for the P5. And I don't know if Yerney is losing some pace with that damage probably he collected on turn 1, but he might be falling into the clutches of Richie.
I think Richie might have some damage as well, so because of that hairpin incident, at least not looking good for Luke Smith and these drivers. So we're going to lap 25. There's a handful of laps left for these drivers to go in wet conditions here. And this has most likely costed the race for Luke Smith. He was in P1. He set a bad position for himself, pitting into the soft tires, and that's really impacted his race.
See what Luis can do now. He's really close to the lead. I don't know if he will try to do any move on Vincent, or if he will be happy with that P2. He is really close to the win on his full-time debut on Haas. Richie a little bit cheeky on the exit of the Grand Hotel hairpin. Luke Smith following him through. We'll see if he has something on his disposal to do something to gain that place. Luke Smith with a lot of battery on his hands to play with. Richie, I don't know if he has damage, I don't think so. He's keeping the same pace.
Yes, it is. Richie, it looks like Luke Smith is having a hard time overtaking Richie, and the gap is starting to form from Richie. He's 1 second behind Dovzan. I believe Dovzan doesn't look like he has damage. He's actually keeping up with the train ahead of him. So Vincent Nyqvist, he has a 3-second penalty, of course, so that's really going to impact the race. Oh, Luke Smith, he looked in the inside there, Richie, and almost pulled it off, but he backed off last minute. I think that was an unsafe move to go there. Neon is also right behind of Luke Smith. Polypunk is actually pitting. Pitting. Maybe has some damage there, but nonetheless
So
the race
yellow.
still goes on.
Lewis now closing a little bit more to the lead. Vincent has a penalty. I didn't remember that fact, and it's really important as Lewis is the actual net leader. 3 seconds for Vincent, I think, was in the early stages of this race. It's gonna be really sad with that, but we'll see what he can do. I don't think he will be able to extend that gap to 3 seconds, but probably to keep the podium.
There's a yellow flag for Polypunk. He's turned 180 degrees in that track there, so unfortunate for him there. Hopefully Luda is rounding up the corner there. He's got his car back on track, so hopefully no collision from that. Luke Smith still stuck behind Richie. I believe Neon has damage because he's definitely fallen down the order, and Drake Dempsey is slowly creeping back into that position there. Luda overtakes Polypunk. It's kind of not surprised there as Luke Smith. Oh, Luke Smith went for the inside and tapped the back of Richie there.
I don't know if he has damage there, but there was contact between him and Richie and to the wall, and as well with the wheel of the Alpine driver who was trying to put the car there. I think there was enough space, but that space closed at the end when Richie turned. Don't know all the sequence of that. I only watched the end, but it was really close. I don't know if one of these drivers will have damage. We'll see. But Luke Smith seems like be dropping a little bit now from Richie.
Yeah, it looks like he is. I don't know if there's damage on those cars there. I don't know. It doesn't look like it. The gaps are getting bigger and bigger. But nonetheless, Luke Smith was in a good position and saved the car, and the rain has messed this completely up.
Incredible, because Luke Smith had everything under control. And I don't know why, but I think he pitted for slick tires, and it was raining already, so
oh,
don't know what he did. Polypunk retiring
the pits. Yeah, sorry, I got excited there. What happened to Neon there? He's completely cut the track. Yeah, it's something with his braking. He has a complete his red wing is completely gone. So yeah, that's game over for Neon there. He had a really good. He was in P2 for almost all the race, and that's completely gone now.
Most certainly retired that car. A lot of penalties on his name, no wing on that car, and I think that's race on for him. Really good as well. First stint, I think he started on P3 with an amazing lap on the mediums.
Yes, 11 laps left. Dovzan is getting right behind Avi for that podium position there. You can see Avi is losing a lot of time against Luis, as Vincent Nicholas is hopefully fighting as hard as he can to get that 3-second penalty outside that range of Luis. He's 7/10 behind, so he's doing a good job so far. But Luke Smith, he's of course not done yet with Richie. You can see the train has already formed with Avi leading. But actually, sorry to interrupt you there, but Neon's actually had not retired and actually come out to the pits.
I think probably he will try to appeal that 10-second penalty. It was a little bit harsh. I think he lost his braking and went a little bit wide, but left everyone by. So probably a not fair penalty for his, but we'll see what the stewards will decide. Here they're having a big correction out of Tabak. Richie really close on that section. Not gonna try it though. It is the driver who's closer to his rival. Luke Smith as well on the back of him, looking for an opportunity.
Looks like Neon's still in the points in P9, so good that he didn't retire. Still points up to grab here. Richie just is so close to Dovzan there, so some overtakes are imminent. Hopefully, you can just see overtaking here is just already hard. With the rain and in these conditions, it's just 5 times harder now. So we already saw with Luke Smith, he tried his best to go inside of Richie, but with these 2 skilled drivers, that's not gonna happen. McBrook gets a 3-second time penalty.
As well, Yerney ahead of them. Yerney is as well a very fast and skilled driver. We have seen him on the podium at least a couple of times. So not gonna be an easy task for these drivers to overtake, well, each other, because with similar pace, 3 of them, and with these conditions and where we at, not gonna happen really easy. Oh, Luke Smith almost losing the
Ooh.
break point and almost hitting the back of Richie. He saved it though, but was really interesting and really close, too close to comfort for Luke Smith and Richie. And we'll see if I don't think he was trying to make any move. I think he was trying to save the car.
Oh,
Drifting that section and
oh,
he hits
and
the back.
that hits the back of him. I mean, it was a nice drift, but it was too much and hit the back of Richie because of that, and that's gonna make them lose time against Dovzad there. I can tell Richie's getting a bit too annoyed with Luke Smith right behind him.
Treble drift. I don't know if he has damage, but that cost them surely a mistake from Lewis as well. It seems to be happening, or probably a loss of pace as he's dropping 1 second from Vincent and penalty. Another one for his name to Neon. An exchange between Luda and McBlurk. Oh, and they are off track on the rail chicane. Drifting Luda is now McBlurk gaining that place into the points, and Luda seems to be having some issue with the damage.
I think he has some damage there. Yeah, it looks like we're in the wrong race. I don't think we're in the Formula 1. We're in the Formula Drift series here. So, I mean, it's giving us a good show. So, I'm kind of liking it, not going to lie. So, Luke Smith going into the corner again, way too deep. But he hits the corner nicely, though. I believe he's... Oh, what is this?
Drop. He let Drake Dempsey. Bye. Don't know if he's going to try to let him try move on Jeffrey and use that as a potential move as well. We'll see what they can do, but it's really interesting. I don't know if they are on the same call or if Luke is gonna retire the car. Yes, it seems.
I think he's given up here and decided to call it quits in the pits. Maybe hasn't quite retired from the race yet. Oh, he's pitting for a new front wing. Yeah. Looks like for Neon. I mean, still in the points, so still looking good for Neon here. I mean, not really, but nonetheless, Luke, it was all looking good for him until he made a bad strategy call there. Nonetheless, the race still goes on with Dovzan still trying to force his way into Avi's range there. Vincent Nicolas, he's doing a good job trying to gap Luis. We saw the gap was 7/10. Now that's 1.7, and it's, I believe he has a 3-second penalty. We can look at the penalty situation there. Neon with a 19-second penalty. So, I mean, still in P9, but only 6/10 out of it. Who is that with that yellow flag?
That's Luke Smith. No, that's not Luke Smith. That's Luda. Sorry, but it wasn't the wheel chicane. It was really not safe, as I think that compromised Leclerc run. Luda having big shakes of oversteer, now leaving Leclerc through.
Yeah, that cost him a lot of time there.
Yeah.
So not good. It's not like we won't see that happening in the race, but it does happen, of course. These drivers don't do it on purpose. They try their best not to be a nuisance to everyone else, of course. But this race still goes on.
Really difficult situations, and well, that car looked like really uncontrollable on his hands. Really shaky on this situation. I think it's raining even more. Gierney closing the gap to Abbey. I think it tapped the rear not only once but as well twice on the Nouvelle chicane last lap. So we'll see, he's really close always, but not enough to put the car ahead to gain that podium position. And not only that, but if he overtakes and puts a really good pace, he might even collect second place.
He might even, yeah. He's still looking good for these drivers. Vincent and QVC specifically happy to be in that P1 right now. But you can see he's 2.2, so he's kind of pushing to put his car outside that penalty range here. And with Dovzan and Avi fighting that hard right now, we never know. We might see at the end of the race.
Vincent, sorry, is doing what he needs to do, and he's with a full battery, 100% on his hands, and he's not even using it. Well, now on the main straight, of course, he needs to use something. He needs to, otherwise he's losing time. 2.6. He's really close to that win. 6 laps to go. Half a second he needs to gain on Lewis to win this race. He's done an amazing job. They were 0.5 after the safety car, of course, was released. And when we had green flag racing, and he has gained a couple of tenths per lap. Will he be able to win this one? Vincent is doing an amazing job, and it's already 2.7 almost.
he's gaining a lot, and he's not even using all of his batteries. He has 98% ERS, and he's flying through those lap times right now. So he might win this race. You never know. It's Monaco still. There's around 5 laps left. So it's good stuff from Vincent right now. Nonetheless, there's still a lot of action brewing in the background. Dovzan, he's eagerly waiting to go for the overtake. If he doesn't do anything sooner or later, he's going to be stuck behind Avi. I mean, it's still good positions for a podium, but of course, it never ends there. You always want more points, especially when Richie is right behind, waiting, as well as Drake Dempsey. They're waiting for the perfect opportunity.
And he has cleared those 3 seconds. Is at the moment the leader, even with that penalty applied, 3.1, and even increasing that gap. Vincent, I said before that it was going to be really difficult, and I didn't see that coming. But Vincent has cleared the 3-second penalty, and now he is the leader.
So a turn of events here. Vincent Nikias, we didn't know he was even going to get points in this race, and now he's winning and leading the race in a spectacular fashion with penalties, and that's not going to stop him there. But nonetheless, the gaps are just getting closer. Dovzan, and as well as Richie and Drake Dempsey, these are the drivers we're looking mostly at. There's about now it is 5 laps left, so hopefully these drivers play it safe until the end and not wipe each other out.
Amazing by Vincent, amazing by these drivers trying to play it safe, but the time is running out. Only 5 laps and a sector to go now as we go under the tunnel, the only dry section of this track, as is covered of course, but a lot of rain as you exit this tunnel. Intermediate situations, I think the rain is not gonna stop to the end.
Yeah, it's gonna get heavier and heavier from now on. I don't think it's gonna really let up. So nonetheless, still about 4 laps going to the 35th lap right now. And
Drake Dempsey is trying everything. He's trying to put different lines against Richie to try to place the car where he needs. He needs to look at how he opens turn 1 to try to play with the traction, but not happening yet. Richie with better traction out of that section, now going into Casino. A little bit wide, the Alpine. We'll see if the Red Bull can take anything from this.
Ooh,
he has to push.
Might get a better exit speed here. Dovzan is incredibly close to Avi. Might even see an overtake here. Neon gets a 5-second penalty for cutting the turn. So now he is not in the points range actually.
He's going to retire, I think, most likely. There he is.
Yeah,
has
there
retired the car on pits, and we are 12 drivers left on this race. At the moment, this fight for the lead might be settled, but still everything can happen. You can expect everything from Monaco. 3.5 is the gap, and well, actually, I think like a little bit of a mistake from Vincent. He lost a couple of tenths, or even 3. Drake Dempsey.
Ooh.
Rushing the wall. I think he touched the inside of Tabak, and that put himself into the outside of Tabak. We'll see if he has any sort of damage on that front wing. Doesn't seem like he's losing too much time, but that mistake can cost him at least a place. We'll see if he can keep that pace with the top 5 drivers. But there he is. I think he has lost a portion of front wing because he's dropping a little bit of pace.
He is. Yeah, it looks like he's quickly falling down the order. I mean, yeah, it looks like the best he can hope for is P6. I mean, starting from P18 to being P6, it's an impressive feat, to be honest. So, applause to him, and bringing him some good points for...
Look at Yerney, really close on Avi. Sorry to interrupt there. Contact between both of the drivers. Polybank leaving the session after he retired on pits. But Yerney always trying it. Avi covered really good. That inside really clean. Avi doing an amazing job. Remember that he is on pad, on controller. Really difficult to control that with this situation on Monaco, and he's doing an amazing job to be there on the podium at the moment. Even after penalties applied for the driver on the lead, he would be still on the same position. So Avi, even if he's doing the train, amazing job to keep these fast drivers behind him.
Yeah, and he's doing his best to defend here. Dovzan is trying his best to go for the overtake, and time is running out, of course. Like you said, clock is running out. Luke Smith, he has a 3-second penalty there. So There's actually some battle brewing up here. Candy King's actually going side by side with McBlurk here. So some last minute battles here going down the order here, fighting for those points. Going down the inside here. Oh, and there's actually some contact going with Candy King McBlurk here.
That's the inside wall, and that made the car jump a little bit. McBlurk stays on P10. We'll see what Candy King can do there. Smith retiring the car on the entry of the pit lane. I think that's a crash.
Yeah, that is a crash into the pit lane.
Lord, if that's a safety car, that's gonna compromise a lot to Vincent, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Candy King looking for the move. McBlurk going wide on the noble chicane. We'll see if Candy King can take from that anything. McBlurk blocking a little bit, and Candy King shaking the steering wheel.
And there's damage to the Mercedes wing, actually. You can see this. Oh, sorry to interrupt you. There's some front wing going off, as well as there's some damage into Noel Carmen. He's getting held by Luda. As Luda goes into the pits, most likely to retire the car. Or not.
It seems like some eyes here on this picture have seen that Luke Smith probably retiring the car on purpose into the wall. Stewards will have to see about that one, but really interesting to see the pole sitter really not happy with this race. Now he'll be finishing outside the points, so 12th place behind his teammate, most likely.
Dovzan still waiting for his chance to go for the overtake to get that pole position. He knows it's right there, and he's waiting for the perfect opportunity. Some more fights going down with Candy King and McBlurk. He's going down the inside and cutting a lot from that there. He got a penalty because of that, and yeah, that wasn't a good move from there. He cut the turn, got a penalty, and now surely he's not gonna get any points here. He's actually he didn't need to fight McBlurk. He had no penalties, but just because of that, he actually puts himself back there.
But he needed to push to catch Noel, and probably not only Noel, because of the penalties. But now, of course, with that one, I don't know if he will be able to appeal that. Didn't see that much what happened. But they are now equal on penalties. He needs to get it on track. McBlurk suffering a little bit. Yerney with the penalty.
Dovzan cut the chicane and completely, yeah, he looks like he got warning from that and got the penalty. And because of that, Richie's going to get promoted to P4. So Dovzan has completely choked the race at the end, going to the lap 38.
That's not going to be happy. He's not going to be happy. And now Candy King leaving Vincent by. They're going to be lapped. And McBlurk as well needs to let him by, and now Candy King is gonna try that move on McBlurk at the exit of turn 1. We'll see if he has the momentum now to do it. Not happening. He was trying to play with that situation. Nothing happened for him. Look at that fight. They are really close. He needs to time it perfectly. Now at the exit, look at that. Is Candy King putting the car side by side with McBlurk. Now he has the inside, and McBlurk is gonna hit. Oh!
What happened there? He locked up his tires and completely missed it. He had that.
Yeah, that indeed. And I don't know if Lois has had any... Well, he had to avoid Candy King, as Candy King has to let everyone by. I think, well, he let Lois by. Sorry, I got a little bit confused about that. Now he's letting everyone by, and he's going to be lapped. Not going to be gaining that place from McBlurk. Locking the tires, both tires, and going almost into the wall.
Yeah, he had that move, but he... made a mistake, went a bit too deep there. Yeah, he got a bit too excited, but nonetheless, I feel like that kind of held up Luis a bit, but or Avi, but nonetheless, Dovzan has that 3-second penalty.
We're on the last lap, and Vincent has driven faultlessly this race. 39 laps of Monaco. He started on P11, even with the penalty. He's not gonna be demoted. He wins on Monaco. Vincent Nyqvist from Lewis, who will cross on second place. Amazing start from them, and Abby as well on third place. Yerney is gonna be losing some places, as Jeffrey is gonna take that P4, but Drugs MC far enough.
Oh my god, no way! Luda crashed going to the finish line. He hasn't even crossed the line, so marshals are gonna look at that. That's unsportsmanlike behavior there. But 10 drivers finishing the race, 9 drivers retiring from the race. What an interesting show we had here in Monaco. What do you think, Vito?
Amazing as well. Really happy with the performance of Vincent. Drugs MC as well, even with damage at that last laps. He managed to be, I think, the driver of the day for the game, from P8 into P6. But for me, it will be Vincent Nyquist who would be the driver of the day, winning that winning that even with a penalty and having to clear those 3 seconds from Lewis, and he managed to do it even with 1 second gap of, let's say, advantage.
Yeah, so good race here. Honestly, I enjoyed it a lot watching these drivers go. Time went a bit too quick here, but the race is over now. American Tier 1, of course, is later on today. Drake Dempsey gets driver of the day, of course. He started from P18 to go to P6. And, of course, our winner here, giving out those F1 copies here, the Swedish driver for Alfa Romeo gets P1 in the Monaco race. Good job from him. Hope we can get some interviews coming on soon. Unfortunate for Luke Smith, unfortunately, yeah, he didn't set himself up for the strategy-wise, but nonetheless, we move on, going to the next race, which I believe is... I don't know, I think I forgot what that was.
Me as well, to be honest. We'll have to check now, but we'll be now with the interviews when the drivers of the podium, Vincent, Lewis, and Abby, 2 Scottish drivers on that podium. So we'll have to see what they think about everything that happened today. A really long race.
Yes. So Vincent wins the Tier 1 Monaco race, as well as Lewis and Avi, the Scottish drivers, set himself into podium positions respectively. We have Richie starting from P10 to P4. Good job on him, as well as Dovsan in P5, Drake Dempsey P6, Clark in P7, Noel Carmen P8, P9 for McBlurk, and P10 in Candy King. So those drivers are the only drivers that survived to the end of the race, as well as to score points. So good stuff for these drivers. Right now, we're gonna go towards interview. Hopefully, if we can get interviews rolling soon.
See if we have Abby there. I don't think we have him, so I will double check now if he wants to join. But at the moment, I think we can go with Lewis. We have here the driver who finished second after Vincent. Amazing race. It's a podium on your full-time debut at Haas. How are you feeling about that?
Quite annoyed, to be fair. Should have won, but locked up and got one damage.
Did you have damage on that front wing that cost you time to Vincent?
Yeah, got it at the very end, or like the last 10 laps, and just couldn't keep in the 3 seconds.
We were wondering what was happening. Vincent really gained a lot of time on that end. You were keeping the pace there, really close on the leader, and you had everything done, yeah, for the win, as you were saying. How that damage was created?
I just locked up out of the chicane and tapped the wall, and it was just enough to make me lose enough time to not be able to keep in the 3 seconds.
Very unfortunate. It was a really difficult situation there on the track to keep the car as well on one piece. A lot of drivers made mistakes. Still is a podium. You will be wondering how you will do on Portugal.
One of my weaker tracks, so we'll see.
Still 1 week to that. So congratulations for the podium, Lewis. I hope you will be happy, even if that's really close to Vincent, but still really close to the win, but still a really good race for you. Well, that was everything from Lewis. Didn't seem to be really happy. We'll be jumping with Abby now, our driver to finish third, and a really interesting and long race for Abby, I would say, even considering that he has the controller on his hands on Monaco and on the rain. How you feel about that one?
It was a long race. I had damage from lap 1, turn 1, so it was hard to keep ahead of drivers, but I managed to do it for most of the race.
It was indeed. You had a really difficult situation. A lot of drivers had damage there as well on lap 1, but you managed to do the right call with the strategy, and then keep a lot of drivers that seemed to be faster than you. You would create a train, but still, a podium is a podium, and it's third place for you.
Yeah, I just had to go defensive into Sector 1 most of the time because Dovzan was getting close. And he was going to go for an overtake if I didn't go defensive, so I managed to hold them off and keep the podium. So yeah, GG's.
It was really good. It was really good. So, how you feel about Portugal after this podium?
Portugal's one of my best tracks, so looking forward to it.
Nice to hear that. Nice to hear that. We hope it goes as good as this one, even probably better. We'll see, because it still can improve. Of course, third place. Still, congratulations. Sorry for that one, and we hope to see you next week.
Yeah, thank you. See ya.
Well, Psycho, we have one left. It's Vincent. I'll leave it for you, Vincent Nyqvist. Amazing job from P11 to the win. Psycho, everything for you.
Yes, thank you so much. Vincent, welcome to the commentary booth. You winning the race, how do you feel about today's results?
Thank you. I'm pretty happy. I didn't expect it, of course, starting like 11th on the grid, so yeah, definitely didn't expect the win.
Of course. You had that 3-second penalty though, so it looks like you helped a lot with your driving there. Even though it looked like you didn't use a lot of ERS and you still gapped him, so impressive drive from you. When the rain came, what was going through your mind when the safety car came out, and a lot of shuffling when the safety car was coming in?
I was wondering if to stay on dry tires, but I saw everyone going in for intermediates, so I just followed them and yeah.
No worries. We're going to the next race of Portugal, and it's not a fan favorite, we could say. It's the most probably least liked track, and it's next week. So what's your expectations for next week? Are we hoping to see another result like this, or?
Definitely not a result like this. I will. It's one of my worst tracks, so I probably will be one of the last persons, or whatever you say.
No worries. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully we can see you back here in the commentary booth, and yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries, Heido.
Congratulations for that one.
Alright, and that should be it for today's race in Tier 1. Any final thoughts before you head off, Bito?
It was a really interesting race. The dynamic change between weathers really was spectacular to see, because it was a really steady and calm, let's say, race. But then, for some drivers, Luke Smith and Neon there on the podium on a really easy way, let's say. But well, the rain changed everything, and of course, unexpected, I would say, sorry, winner, as it was Vincent. Really happy to see new drivers there at the top. I don't know how this will matter for the championship. I think it's already updated, and Richie stays on the lead. But Vincent, with this win, up into P2, Abby into P3.
And there you go. Yeah, can't wait for next week though. I know it's gonna be a hassle for these drivers, but hopefully they'll be prepared and be ready for next week. Of course, we're gonna raid someone from the F1 community very soon and roll the outro. But I think that's all for us. Of course, America Tier 1 race is later on today, so make sure you stick around for that. And yeah, that should be it from us.
Join our Discord to be there with an eye on the announcements and everything, and to participate, of course, with MRL on these 5 divisions that we have. And of course, stay here, watch the outro, and support the community with the raid that we will doing. That's been everything for us today, from Psycho from Norway and me, Pizzo from Spain, and we hope to see you in America's Tier 1 in a couple of hours. See you.
See you, everyone.